Welcome to Endeavor TV with the review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 smartphone. This is a beautiful device with a 5.7-inch screen, which is not a Full HD screen this time, but a 2560 x 1440 pixel resolution display, which means 515 pixel per inch. That's a lot more than Retina is, for example, on Apple devices, and we also have here the Apple iPhone 6 Plus. So we can compare it for you guys in a second, but first we want to go around the device, show you a little bit around, and then after we'll show you a few software things and our test, because we had it in our pockets for a little bit more than a week now, and we will tell you how we felt using this device, which has, of course, now for the first time in a Note device, for example, a metal border. Now this feels quite good, and the device got also a little bit heavier because of this, but the device is in fact not a light one. It has a weight of 76 grams or 6.21 Oz, and then also we have here on the bottom you can see a little bit of antennas, as there is also on the top two lines here with antennas, and we have the Qualcomm version, so the Snapdragon 805 inside, also the infrared port, red port here on the top, so we can use our this as a TV remote, for example, and also here the 3.5mm headphone jack on top, and 2.5 or the micro USB jack on the bottom, which is a standard micro USB 2.0. Also we have here two microphones, which is quite good for even better noise reduction, and also on the back we should have some microphones, so there's actually more than two microphones. For example, there's another one here at the headset port, so for conference calls, when you have it lying down on the table, it will filter out noise even better, and otherwise of course still will filter noise out also while you're taking a phone call, also quite good. Then we have here also on the back, as on the Samsung Galaxy S5, for example, our heart rate sensor, a 16 megapixel camera with an optical image stabilizer, which is quite good, but not as good as in the Apple iPhone 6 Plus. And then also we have here the speaker, which is quite loud, but sounds a little bit mono. And of course here our stylus, with which one we can do again all kinds of cool stuff. And it's even better now than in the last one, because it's even more accurate with the higher resolution display. The on and off switch is still here on the side, just one press, and as you will able to see, there is no micro SD or USB port, anything like that on the sides, because we can still take off the back cover. This is a non-waterproof device, so you can see here there's no rubber around here the case, and you can see also the 3220 milliamp battery on the back, which could be bigger because we had a really short battery lifetime of this device, which I find a little bit sad. So for example, yesterday we were unplugging it at 11 a.m. and at midnight the juice was already at 2%, and we even had it 2 to 3 hours in flight mode while we were flying to Berlin and back. You can see we have a micro SD card slot, no nano, it's a micro SD, micro SIM and micro SD. Internally there's 32 gigs of space, which should be enough, and 3 gigs of RAM. The micro SD here can hold up to 128 gigs. Now, as I said, the battery has 3220 milliamps, and the NFC chip is also inside here, and you can see it also sticking out a little bit here, which is quite strange, but yeah, Samsung likes to build it into the battery, not in the back covers, even though it would work quite nicely here with the extra sensors. There's no wireless charging or anything like that inside, and you can see here also how far the camera is actually sticking out because of that image stabilizer, and you can see here also how big the speaker is compared to the tiny little holes that Samsung gave it. And then also we have here again this plastic, which is feeling like a little bit like rubber, but yeah, you can see that we can still do this with that, so it feels a little bit cheap, which is of course sad because we have a really nice metal design here all around, which has though in 1 week now got a few here scratches. Maybe you can see it, maybe not, especially this one here on the bottom is not that good looking, but of course when you will use your smartphone without a case, that can happen. So now we have a beautiful device in our hands with also here on the front a beautiful 3.7 megapixel camera, and I want to show you guys now the two cameras. Like for example here on the back you can see here a little bit of really healthy juice that I'm promoting, so you can see how really fast it is focusing. Once I stop my camera it always refocuses, and also the display is quite nice. You can see it doesn't matter how far to the side I go, everything looks really quite good. And we will see of course a few pictures that I took at night and during the day in a few minutes when we and go through the gallery. Also here for the front selfie mode, quite good. It could be a little bit faster, as you can see when I move it around, and the picture is a little bit slow, but we can actually not only shoot full HD movies here with the front camera, but also here the same resolution as the display, so 2560 times 1440. With the back camera, of course, there's already 4K enabled, but only again for 5 minutes. And what I really love is that you have quite a lot of space here to the left and right, so there could be at least 2 or 3 people stand next to me, and I think I was smiling and it automatically took a picture or something like that. So that's why, I guess, or if you just hit the screen, yeah, it's taking a picture right now, so there's a lot of settings that you can set up, but I think for selfies that maybe makes a little bit sense. And even though there's the fastest processor in the world right now inside the Snapdragon 805, it is a little bit slow if you ask me, and we will just turn here off that we only have to tap to take pictures. And you can see here the size of the videos I was telling you about, and actually if I turn it back around, I can also show you that when we record for 2K, 5K video, 4K videos, it gives us a limit of only 5 minutes, which is again a little bit sad, but I think it's necessary because otherwise it would just get too hot. And even Sony, even though they don't show a limit, it is limited at about 5 to 6 minutes. It will tell you that the device is getting really hot, so you have to use it underwater maybe to cool it down, which is of course possible for about half an hour. And as you can see, once you shot a video or of course photos, you can also edit that. It loads a little bit, and then you can start edit your own little tiny movie together from different pictures or videos that you took. This takes of course a little while till it loads, and then you can just browse here through your video, trim it or do anything with it, as you can do here actually with the iPhone. Maybe the iOS users will notice a little similarity. So let me just cancel here, discard, and then we will go on here checking out our portfolio, like what kind of pictures we did. I shot a few. Oops, I didn't want to go back. Let me go here, and then we have to press this button. It's a bit stupid, but if we check out, for example, Instagram, I can show you guys, for example, at low light or not that good light, we had a Huawei event. If I zoom in, it's looking quite alright, but of course you will tell me now Instagram has always not the best quality because it dumbs it down. You are right, so I can just go back here and look at the same picture without the other people in it, and yeah, it looks quite alright for shooting it from the third row here at an event with not that great light. And otherwise, of course, I can show you guys, for example, a selfie, which is not taken with the front camera, but with the back camera. And here I am looking a little bit old, but you can see here all the tiny little stitches on my New York cap, Yankees cap, which is quite alright for this far away. Or even my Ralph Lauren logo is quite nicely visible if I want to look at that. Otherwise, at low light, you can see here it's possible to take really good pictures, like for example that one, but of course you have to hold the camera still. That's what the optical image stabilizer is for. I quite like that picture, that's my profile picture right now, but for example this one is not looking that good, or that one. I was moving too much. Otherwise, shooting beer, so of course since I live in Munich, it's important that my beer looks good on pictures. And if you want to check out low light video and other stuff, this was for example at a party. This looks also quite cool here with the disco light reflecting a little bit. If you want to check out my front camera, back camera videos, low light videos, check out my YouTube channel, subscribe, of course, don't forget to do that. And then you can see how the Note 4 performs also with beautiful vodka bottles in the dark, which are glowing. So enough with the camera. Of course, you can do all kinds of stuff with the camera, like for example here with the stylus, where of course you will have your action memo, smart select, image clip and screen write to select from once you take out the pen, or of course this will come back as soon as you do a little bit of gestures here with the pen. And if you could just go a little bit close, you can see you can do that like up to 1 centimeter away. You can already select here your stuff from the screen even without tapping on anything, which is quite cool. And it's actually also possible with your finger in the S5, for example, for looking at videos or previewing videos when you just move your finger over it. So this is quite cool. Now, if you don't know any of these action memos, for example, you can just write down a number, select it, and then, for example, add it as a contact or do anything like that. Write or go to the email to the website or go to the address or anything like that. So I think that's enough. I don't have to demonstrate it otherwise. Now, if you want to just use your stylus, you can also actually use it here with the buttons on the bottom, which was not possible, for example, with the Note 2, which I will compare it to later. And if you just press it for a long time, if you press here the button, because there's of course a button inside the Note, and you just go, I think, close to the screen, the action memos should actually come back. I never knew exactly how to do that, but if you just hold it down, for example, for a long time on the screen, the same thing will happen as you would do with the finger. What I find a little bit sad is again that there's a few advertisements in the Samsung product in this Note 4 Lite, for example. As you're able to see, if you just hold down the screen, you can see that there is a few screens here, but there's actually another screen here to the left, which is of course not the home screen. But if I just go here one more left, you can set up your Flipboard account and you cannot turn this off. I find this a little bit sad and unnecessary. This shouldn't be in here. It's a little bit annoying because it always starts up and then you have to close it up like this again. And you can see here again that we almost have the new lollipop features here inside. This is of course not the lollipop updated Note 4. You can see how fast this goes here through, and this is how the new 5.0 Android will also look like. So you can see, for example, I can just close up all kinds of things, like for example that trigger, so we can open that in a second again, and you can see how fast this device performs. I can of course also close all the apps or check out my active applications and how much space I still have. For example, Antutu is still running, which I can also just say end, and the music is still running, and I can also end that or just hit the end all button. So the stylus is quite alright, you can see it here, but of course there will be more features available in a second when I show you a little bit more with that, so I don't have to use that. I'm not that big of a stylus fan, but of course the Note device is all about that, but most of you guys buy the Notes because they are the strongest Samsung products, always stronger than the S series. So if we're already talking about games, let's do a little bit of gaming. Dead Trigger 2 has one of the best graphics. It has Unity for the graphics actually built in, and if I just hit play, you were able to see how fast it actually starts and how tiny the letters are on here because of that high resolution screen. You will see that amazing graphics on this device are looking not only amazing, but sometimes they even slow down a little bit because of the high resolution, and maybe 3 gigs of RAM is not enough for that. But this also runs with 2 gigs of RAM on the... So there's a zombie, let's kill that guy. Of course this is PG, not 13, get out of the underground. I have to go, I think, that way. So you can see here how quite nice this runs. I'm not the best player, as you can see, I'm still in tutorial phase. So I can switch to a gun now and start shooting. I have no clue how to shoot. So I think you can guess how good this looks like and how fast it is. So let's go out of here again and let me guys show you how good it did in Antutu. Now the Antutu test was quite successful because we got the highest rating on our list. So you can see here 46,437 pictures, which is in ranking. If you go here to the list, I guess, or somewhere here, the bar chart, there we go. Of course, higher than the M8, which I already also have here, the S5, Note 3 and all of that, it's of course higher. There's no Z3 here, but of course that also has only the Snapdragon 801. If you look at the top 20, I just have to submit the scores. You will see how it ranks, but I guess it ranks as good as the other Note 4s that are in review right now worldwide with the other tech review guys. And this device is actually available now here in Germany without contract for $700. So you can see it here that, yeah, we only have a few other devices that rank the same way. We have the latest Snapdragon inside. This is called the N910F. You can see again the pixel resolution, camera resolution, and everything that's inside. Like for example, the Adreno 420, which is a really fast gaming processor, and you're already able to see how fast that is. So let's go out a little bit again and see how other things perform. Like for example, if you just want to browse the web, how does a website look like on this device? Let's for example just, as you're able to see again, a little bit of slowing down here. Now it's a little bit faster, but if you look like, for example, on a standard website like To Do, which is something like Nest here in Germany, you will be able to see that it looks quite alright, especially if you open up the standard website, go to the main page. Yeah, this is fine, and also you can see here the speed is totally alright, and of course the text is really quite sharp and you can read it nicely, of course, on this high resolution, really high resolution display. Most notebooks don't even have this resolution yet, so this is really quite alright here for standard user scenario. So again, here standard website, a lot of pictures, can just go up and down, and there will be not much slowing down, except for, of course, the site has to load fast enough. Now, of course, also when you open up a new site, I want to type. I still don't like very much the keyboard. You can switch here to English, for example, and then you can write like that, or you can of course connect the button, connect the letters, but I haven't turned it on right now. There could be a little bit less space between the letters, but I guess this is better for typing, for example, that way. Or you can of course, as I said, or not said before, but you can also use here the way to just write with the stylus somewhere, but I have no clue where. So that's again a little bit sad for you guys, but it's possible to definitely here just write by writing, for example, the New York Times. Here we go, you can see it worked quite nicely, and I didn't even use my best letters. And you can really just write anything, hello, and it doesn't have to look the best, and really Samsung did a really great job here with the stylus. I just love this, and you can really do all kinds of amazing drawings. If you look here at the apps that are pre-installed, for example, there should be a premium app, Pen Up, pre-installed, where you have already some pictures of people that they did with their previous notes, and it's really amazing what you could do here with a smartphone just and this beautiful pen if you're really nice, if you take your time. Can download that and like that, and this is a quite nice way here with PenUp to just draw your own things and share it with the world and get some likes. It's a little bit like Instagram, but for sketches. Otherwise, when we're here in the apps already, you can see there's 2 pages pre-installed apps. These are the ones that are pre-installed, and there's of course here even more. Then there's a few that I added, like Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, Free Flight, Pizza, DE, and Harris, and these are some partner programs. And of course here are a few again which I added, like for example the Studio, of course, by YouTube. Now YouTube, of course, videos look also quite good on the device. If you just go here, it will load in a second. We can just start any video we would want, like for example music videos are maybe not that bad of an idea, so you can listen to how not great the speakers are. And then we will also do a little bit of comparison in terms of size with a few other devices. So this is now of course not the maximum volume. It sounds quite alright, but it's nothing compared to the dual speakers, like for example in the HTC One M8. Yeah, so let's compare it a little bit with the Apple iPhone 6 Plus, for example, which has a not 5.7 inch screen but 5.5, and the iPhone 6 Plus is actually taller, as you can maybe see here. They barely fit both in the picture because they're that big. But what the iPhone is, it's slimmer. It's only 7.1 millimeters thick, while this is 8.5 millimeters thick actually, but it has a much bigger battery here with 3200 instead of 2900 milliamps, and the cameras are also a lot better on the Samsung on the front and the back, if you ask me, but we already have a comparison video about that. Check that out. Then of course we have a little bit more here to show you guys, like for example the HTC One M8, which is also the flagship by HTC. They only bring out one once a year, so you can see here that of course 5 inches versus 5.5 inches are not the same. Then we have the LG G3, which is, I think, in my eyes, the best competitor. It's almost half the price, has the same screen, the same great camera specs, and a bigger battery in comparison to the or 3000 milliamps to 5.5 inches, which is totally alright. And you can see how much smaller that is, and maybe not much slimmer because we have the same type of design with these curvings built in, but otherwise totally alright with actually exactly the same features except for the stylus, which, as I said, I don't actually use that much because I'm not that much of a drawer. It can be handy in the winter maybe, but I'm not sure if you definitely want to use that. So this was the G3, and now if you're just an iPhone 5S user, think about upgrading, check that out. iPhone 5S compared to the Samsung Galaxy, the Note 4 is in thickness the same, in the middle at least, but of course in size way bigger. If you're a Note 2 or Note 3 user, they're about the same size. I have a Note 2 here. You can see that now the screen got again a bit bigger with 5.7 inches in the Note 4 compared to the Note 2 at least, but in terms of thickness they're about the same, and of course specs are a lot better now. And one more thing I want to show you is of course that the fingerprint scanner works for, not for the print, but for my pulse. So let's update it later. I have to go down here, I think. No, here, heart rate. Put my finger here on top, and then it will measure my heart rate, and I have to stop talking while it does that. So I'm really calm right now. 60 to 70 is a perfectly healthy number. So this was it with the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 in a short review. Tips and tricks videos are coming up soon. So I will show you what to do with the pen, what to do with all the settings that are inside here on the back, because there's quite a few, and this review would definitely not be enough to show you guys everything. Till next time, please, and again, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you much for watching. This was the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 sponsored by Antidote.